Welcome everybody to the 2023 BMW X5 45e. Yes, this is the plug-in hybrid, and fun fact, it belongs to us. In fact, it belongs to someone in my family, and I'm very thankful that they allowed us to shoot a video with this car. But this is not the real reason why we're here. The real reason why we're here is to shoot the 2024 BMW X5 50e. Yes, that is the plug-in hybrid as well, and it's the newer model to this car. It's the mild evolution, it's the LCI. So let's see what the differences are in the new car compared to the older car. The front end of the LCI X5 looks almost like an evolution of the previous LCI. The previous LCI looks really good. Honestly, I like the cuts it has on the bumper, and that's a non-M Sport. This is an M Sport, so definitely it has more vents, more ducts, lots more going on in the front. Since this is the LCI, there are minor changes. They had to make some differences, right? And as you can notice, the headlights, although the shape of the headlights is pretty much identical, the insides like the DRL patterns and everything are quite different to the pre-LCI car. Both of them appeal to the different crown. That looked a bit more sober. This looks a bit more funky, and it all comes down to if you like. It all comes down to your preferences, whether you like sober or funky. The grille size is pretty much the same. Since this is the M Sport, it's in a very brushed aluminium finish. Since that is the non-M Sport, it has chrome around, and that might not be to everyone's taste. I personally like it because it carries a very executive feel, but this brushed aluminium also works very well. Both cars also have active grills, so the grills open and close according to when the engine needs more cooling and not. Since this is the M Sport, it has lots more additional stuff, and for the LCI they have made the center part into a black, it's like a black plaque, which actually looks almost like a goatee. I'm not a big fan of the black part in the middle. I wish if that stayed body colored, maybe it could have looked a bit better. The cuts and creases would have looked a bit more prominent. But again, when you see this on the road, you know definitely that this is an X5. When you come to the side, the changes are very nominal. The whole silhouette of the side profile is literally the same to the pre-LCI. And well, let's be honest, LCI cars don't have that much changes on the visual part. So the side profile looks pretty much the same. The major difference is that this is the M Sport and you've got some optional 21-inch wheels which look really good. Especially with this paint, the contrast looks really good, and if the keen eye noticers will also notice that the blue M Sport calipers, which look really good. On another brighter shade, it would even pop even more. But I like the whole theme where it's subtle and just trying to be mildly aggressive at places. The whole theme I really like. BMW has killed it with the design. The rear of the X5 is again very much similar to the pre-LCI. The only changes are the tail lights. Everything else looks the same, and that's not a bad thing because the X5 always had a very appealing looking rear end of the car. In fact, one of the better looking SUVs in the BMW range. The only difference are these taillights, which look really good at night. They have a very cool pattern of LEDs that come. The only thing I would find is that the indicator pattern is a bit weird. In fact, it feels like it's broken. In the older cars, it used to feel like it's broken. The pattern and the speed of the indicator is a bit too quick, and that's applicable to the front as well. But again, what can I say, it looks really good. It still retains the same practicality that the X5 is always famous for. And if you open the boot, you'll notice that the split tailgate is still there and the boot is still there. Since this is the plug-in hybrid, the batteries are placed under the boot, so the boot flow is a bit higher than you would find in a regular gas-powered X5. The split tailgate is very cool. You can also open it and use it as a bench for your camping and enjoy your camping trips. Inside the new X5 LCI, and it has some of the elements which would remind you of what a typical BMW interior is, parts of the pre-LCI as well. This is very much common, but the only change is this little gear knob lever. I don't even know what it's called. It's so small. The pre-LCI had a very nice tactile feeling joystick like gear lever, which I still personally prefer, and I wish BMW brings it back for their new cars. The major change inside is this new big screen. In the pre-LCI, it's two screens. So you have one small screen for the speedometer and everything, and then you have one screen for the iDrive, the Apple CarPlay and everything. It's two school of thought. Some people like that, some people like this. I personally, to be honest, I've driven that car a lot. I really like the way it works. It's very easy to get friendly with. It's very easy to learn and set up things and everything. This takes a bit of a while to understand where all the settings are, especially this does not have physical AC control buttons. So that has the HVAC buttons physical, and that's very easy, especially when you're driving. It's very easy to adjust. This is everything touch, which can get a bit confusing. The touch response is really good. Honestly, the touch response is fabulous and just what you need when you're driving and if you want to fiddle with settings. But it does take some getting used to. The screen is curved, so it looks really good. The resolution is top notch, and well, this is one of their most flagship cars. I mean, they have the X7 after this, but this is one of their most flagship cars and one of the most highest selling SUVs in North America. So you know that BMW has to make it a very premium ambience inside, and premium it is. The vents have changed, so you have this now very tactile feeling sort of metallic aluminum finish buttons to adjust the flow of the air, the vent position. And this cup holder is the same like the previous one. The wireless charger, now your phone will be horizontal compared to vertical in the pre-LCI. Cup holders are very much similar. The door window positions, everything is like, they have not gone overboard with the changes. They have just made minor changes here and there to make sure that you do feel the change, especially when I have now been transitioning from that car to this car. And when I come into this car, this does feel very premium. The changes though, that car has the optional cognac tan interior. This has the ivory interior. This looks much more premium, but this would be much more of a pain to upkeep on a day-to-day basis. That would be much more friendly for day-to-day conditions. Are just so lovely, so beautiful. The seats are very, very comfortable. You have a lot of adjustments. The under thigh support is manual in that. The extendable under thigh support, it's electrical in this. So you see minor updates here and there, but it's very, very comfortable, very beautiful, and it's very fitting to the price point this car is sold at. I'm now in the rear seat of the X5. As you can see, because of this ivory interior, it's a lovely place to be. It's very airy. The windows are very big, although they are tinted because they have the privacy glass. And you also do option have the manual shade to protect you from the sun. But otherwise, space and the whole ambience feels very premium, very, very nice. You do have the panoramic glass roof. The sunroof only opens on the front part, so it does not open the whole glass, but it's okay because the glass is so big, lots of sunlight is let in, and it just feels very airy, very welcome of all passengers, even the middle passengers, because the floor is very low and you do have a center headrest as well. You do have a center armrest as well if you open, and you do have a storage, and you have some cup holders as well to put your drinks. And you can put some drinks in the door pockets as well, because I have a reasonably sized bottle in the door, and honestly this door pocket is huge. It can take way bigger bottles and lots more stuff in the side pockets. It's honestly, the packaging is just top notch by BMW. You do have an option here where you can slide and you can mount an iPad. There's an official mount, I think, by BMW or by Apple, where you can mount an iPad, so it's good for the kids or for longer journeys for the people sitting behind, because there's a type C charging port as well. There are Type-C charging ports too in the bottom as well. The front under the cup holders are only a USB-A port. The center armrest has a C port as well. So it's a mix of, modern ports and some older ports as well. You do have digital controls for the temperature, heated seats, and vent fan speed and the direction of the air, because you do have vents in the center console, and then you have vents under the seat as well for your feet, and then you have some vents in the pillar as well, which I really, really like. It's a pretty cool design package, honestly. You've got some great stitching pattern on the seats, which is applicable to the front seats as well. And again, as I said, overall it's a very comfortable, very premium feel, and very justifying of what this car's price is in the market today. I'm now behind the wheel of the 2024 X5 50e. So let's get the numbers out of the way. This has the famed 3-liter twin turbo inline 6 that produces about 380 or 90 horsepower. But since this is the plug-in hybrid, this has an additional battery, a 25.7 kilowatts per hour battery, which is a 25% increase compared to the previous pre-LCI 45E. So the additional horsepower is about 90 or 95 horsepower, which brings a combined total of 483 horsepower. The torque is about 518 foot-pounds of torque, which is again very healthy. Since this is the plug-in hybrid, it does weigh a lot. So it's upwards of 2 tons, 2.1 tons, which is pretty heavy. But mind you, this car is not slow. So let's launch it actually first. So the car is in drive. If I put into sport mode, put the gear lever into sport, put the dynamic traction control on, and if I do it that, yes, the sport traction, and you can hear the engine is fired up, and it uses the battery to give me as maximum of a performance as I can. So if I launch it, oh wow, and you get thrown behind. Oof, and that's 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds. This thing is a beast. Oh my god, I'm doing crazy speeds in no time. Let me just put the dynamic traction control back on, put it into hybrid mode. Yes, and then just put into drive, and everything just calms down. We are back to usual business, doing what X5s usually do, crunching down the highway, eating the kilometers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's so comfortable. From MY 2023 onwards, they have started putting air suspension as standard on this. So our car is an MY 23 car, so that has air suspension as standard. This is the same, and it rides so beautifully. Even though this is running, that's running on 20-inch, this is running on 21-inch wheels, front and back. So this is a staggered setup, that is a squared setup, and it rides so beautifully. I'm on some beautiful pieces of tarmac, but the car rides so beautifully well. It's so comfortable. The seats are very nice, and overall driving position, you sit very upright, so you have a very clear vision of the bonnet line. So it's very easy to park this car in tight spaces. And not only the visibility, this car has so much tech. You have 360 camera, front parking aid, rear auto parking, front auto parking, everything you can ask for, it has it all. So it makes living with this car extremely easy. You can drive it in peak downtown traffic, and you won't even have to stress out a bit. You can cruise in the highway. So this has highway assist plus. Our car has the regular highway assist. This is one step higher, so you can actually drive hands free with this. For that car, you have to have the hands on the steering at all times. It's so comfortable. It's just meant for just cruising all day, every day, just eating the miles. And you won't have to stop much, because since this is the plug-in hybrid, it has about 65 kilometers of real world range, electric range. That one has about 40 to 45, so it is quite an incremental upgrade. But because of that electric range, you get a real world full tank. Like combining the electric and the gas, you can easily get 850, 900 kilometers of range, which is insane, and just what you need for any road trip that you want to do. Honestly, this car is just made for just putting in the luggage and taking your family and just going on. It's so good, and it's not a slouch, as you've seen. And now that you've seen, it's not slow, it's actually very efficient as well. In city, combined with the electric and everything, I was getting 2.5, 2.6 liters per 100. On the highways, now that I've actually finished all the electric charge, so I'm running on pure gas now, and I'm getting about 8.59 liters per 100 on the highways, and about 10.5 to 11 liters in city, which is still not bad for a car of this size, and for a car can do it all. Honestly, BMW didn't have to tinker much, because the X5 was such an accomplished platform, and I'm glad they didn't, because this still drives quite essentially like an X5. Just a fabulous piece of kit, and one of the best driving SUVs out there. In conclusion then, the 2024 BMW X5 50e. Well, to be honest, I really liked our 2023 a lot. But after driving the 2024, I feel like the incremental changes that BMW has made for the LCI feel worth it. It is very expensive though, at around $108,000 Canadian for this X5 50e with, let's be honest, quite a bit of options actually. It has the M Sport kit, lots of enhancements for features, safety, highway driving assist, you name it, it has it all. This is probably a very fully loaded car. This is not that well equipped as this, but it still has the basic necessities. The difference of price is about $10 to $12,000. Cars are becoming more and more expensive. I think the price difference is justified. I know after taxes, and since the base price is over 100k, you will have to pay luxury tax as well. But still, I would say that it is justified because it just feels that much more newer, that much more premium, and feels quite essential, the BMW X5. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.